John, it is a tale of two narratives, that is for sure. An illegal alien deported to El Salvador, suspected of being a leader of MS-13. But the legacy media wants you to believe he's just an innocent father, an innocent Maryland father. John Hughes, a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General and a law professor at UC Berkeley. John, it does appear there is a tale of two narratives developing here. What do you want people to know about this?
Sandra, the government has already said they made a mistake, that even though they could have removed Mr. Garcia from the country because of his alleged MS-13 ties, there was an immigration judge who had said he shouldn't be removed temporarily. The problem here is whether it's up to the courts or whether it's up to the executive branch and the president to work out what to do with it. It's really not within the power of the courts to order the United States government to try to go to another country and grab someone and bring them back. He's outside the power of the United States right now. Our courts don't have any authority to reach him. The better solution is not that the courts start issuing orders left and right, but that the president and the State Department try to work out a deal with El Salvador to return anybody who was sent there by mistake. But by dragging the courts in, this is going to make the problem worse and going to make a political solution even harder to get to.
Yeah, John, this is Karoline Leavitt, the press secretary, addressing, first up, the Atlantic headline, okay? This is how it read. An administrative error sends a Maryland father to a Salvadoran prison. No mention of his MS-13 ties. The Trump administration says that it mistakenly deported an immigrant with protected status, but that courts are powerless to order his return. Karoline Leavitt responded to that headline at the White House press briefing yesterday. Listen.
If you just saw the headline from the insane, failing Atlantic magazine this morning, you would think this individual was Father of the Year, living in Maryland, living a peaceful life, when that couldn't be further from the truth. They didn't even mention in the title of that article or even in the first paragraph that this individual is an illegal criminal who broke our nation's immigration laws. He is a leader in the brutal MS-13 gang, and he is involved in human trafficking.
Why is the legacy media so quick to come to the defense of this person? As so many are pointing out in the wake of that, where were they for the victims in this country, legal citizens who are victimized by some of these people, these gang members here illegally?
And this is the thing. If there were a hearing in the United States, and he did have a hearing, there was an immigration court hearing for Mr. Garcia several years ago. The government could put more of this evidence on if it wanted to. It is not the case that this is someone who was picked up randomly, who had a clean sheet, had no reason to be deported. In fact, I believe the immigration court found that there were sufficient grounds to eject him from the country, that he was in the country illegally, and that there was evidence that he was a member of MS-13.
John, I want to finish up with this exchange. Ted Cruz and Amy Klobuchar on those nationwide injunctions. It gets fiery. Listen.
Nationwide injunctions are an abuse of power.
The only reason there's all these injunctions, Senator Cruz, is because he's violating the Constitution. Why would Trump-appointed judges...
Why don't you file them in red districts?
Senator Cruz, why... What did you just say?
Why don't you file them in red districts? Why are the Democrat attorneys general seeking out left-wing, blue
colleague?
Patient with
Senator Cruz. I will take more than my time, since he's taken more than his time to yell at me.
So that was, John, at a Senate hearing earlier today, this as the news was breaking that a federal judge has blocked the Trump administration terminations of these federal workers in 19 states and Washington, D.C. I want to get your quick reaction to all of that.
I think Senator Cruz, who used to be the Solicitor General of the state of Texas and a Supreme Court clerk too, had the better of the argument. These nationwide injunctions, I don't think, are legal. I think that these federal trial judges don't have the authority to shut down the government just by hearing one or two cases, and that this has got to be decided by the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court won't fix the problem, then Congress has to pass a law and end these nationwide injunctions.
John, always good to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandra.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.